Another important point in conquering diabetes is hydration. The hardest time to drink water is in the cold weather, is that right? Well, boil the kettle and make it hot water. Put a squeeze of lemon with it. You just got to find out some way to get it in, because your pancreas needs water to make these hormones that control your blood glucose levels. In fact, if someone's blood glucose levels are going down and they take a glass of water, do you know that will cause a release, or the body to help release some of the glucose to bring it up. But not only hydration, which is approximately 8 glasses a day, but also salt. Now, it is at this point that I'd like to explain salt, because this will also help with the blood pressure. So your seawater has 92 minerals, and of those 92 minerals, 30% is sodium. Can you see how God meant us to be having sodium with all the other minerals to buffer it out? 50% is chloride. And because these make up the largest amount of minerals, when the first crystals are formed, when the seawater's evaporated, when the water's evaporated from the seawater, sodium chloride. So they scoop that up, no time to wait for the rest to be evaporated. Bleach it white, put aluminium with it, there's your table salt. Table salt has 2 minerals. Yes, it is true that table salt will help the blood pressure to go up because it causes a mineral imbalance in and out of the cell. You see, the highest concentration of mineral inside the cell is potassium, and the highest concentration outside the cell is sodium. So when these are taken in these high amounts, it causes an imbalance. The doctor's right. Table salt will get the blood pressure up. And so will no salt, because your cells need that little bit of salt. So my suggestion is to take the Celtic salt. The Celtic salt contains 82 minerals, and the Himalayan salt, it contains 75 minerals. One of the beauties of the Celtic salt is it has 3 magnesiums, and magnesium is a muscle relaxant, and magnesium relaxes that heart at rest. Dr. Lee Langry is a French doctor who's written a whole book on salt. If someone comes to him with high blood pressure, he puts them straight on Celtic salt. If they're not used to any salt, start small, start very small, and then little by little ease it in. So stop the refined salt. So you can see how the high blood pressure and the diabetes, they sort of lapping over here because the same things affect them all. What else is important is exercise. Specifically, the high-intensity interval training. The high-intensity interval training are intervals of high intensity. So the high intensity, most of the research shows 30 seconds. That's not long. Did you try it today? Most of the research has been done on exercise bikes. Exercise bikes easy, you're holding on if you're a little unstable. If you've got knee, joint, ankle, hip, the exercise bike is a lot easier. We went cycling this afternoon. Such fun. 30 seconds high intensity, and then a recovery time of about 90 seconds, and that is usually done for a cycle of 6. That's your ideal. If you can't do that, that's perfectly fine. Just work up to it. If your high intensity is 7 seconds, and if your recovery is about 10 minutes, that's perfectly fine. You just start with where you're at. Now, what this does, it increases the circulation of the blood to the skin in a mighty way, but not only the skin, to the pancreas. It increases the circulation of the blood to the heart. It actually strengthens that heart muscle. And when you do the exercise, you cause the blood to come out to the extremities, which takes pressure off the heart, and it strengthens the heart. So you cannot conquer high blood pressure unless you exercise. You cannot conquer diabetes unless you exercise. You just got to find out what works well for you. If you can't do the exercise bike, the easiest is the rebounder. If your balance isn't good, grab onto a chair, grab onto something. And if you can't bounce, just start with this. Just little tiny jigging. Just start where you're at. If that seems over the top for you, that's all right. You're not there yet. Might be there. It might take you 6 months or a year. You don't have to do that now. But you just start where you're at. I love that piece of information the lady gave us. Walking for half an hour after every meal. Did you get that? reduces diabetes by 50%. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease. It's not genetics, and it's not the germ. It's actually what you do to your body. Even if you were born with a weakened pancreatic gene, you need never go there. You need never pull the gun. Most people don't realize the dramatic effect these things have on the body. Your cells are reviving and recharging while you sleep, and the hours of power are between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. These are the hours your batteries recharge. These are the hours that healing intensifies. This is the hours where your brain does a little bit of house cleaning. So conquering anything in your body, no matter what it is, it's important to sleep in those hours. So that's where we should be sleeping. Can't sleep? Just lie there, have all the lights off, and thank God for all the wonderful things in your life. There's one thing that will stop you sleeping. Two things actually. Blue light, screens. Don't allow yourself to touch them in those hours. You've got study to do. We'll do it at 3 in the morning. And the other thing is getting annoyed. If you get annoyed with the fact that you cannot sleep, you will not sleep. That's why you've got to lie there and have the attitude of gratitude. Thank you, Father in heaven, that I cannot sleep.